Hello, my lovely little gemstones, it's Afira, and today I'll be reading Self-Love Chapter 4 by Parallel Monsoon. Chapter 4, Roman. Roman doesn't sing anymore. Before, he would hold concerts. They were all free to join, but it was Roman. Roman who was the star. Roman who spun under the spotlight with his arms outstretched, belting out every Disney song ever written. He put everything he was into those songs, poured himself wholly, exposed himself utterly. Tale as old as time held all the trepidation and fear and awe of love just born. Let It Go should have been hackneyed, a cliché worthy of only an eye roll. Roman made it new again, made it echo with yearning and desperate, fragile pride. You'd expect the stage to be more grandiose. It was Roman's dreamscape, and he could have put them in the Schubert's or the Sydney Opera House or even a crumbling Greek amphitheater. Instead, Thomas's middle school auditorium, with its dusty red curtain and single flickering spotlight. Before, Roman would hum while he worked, scribbling away and humming, always humming, little snatches of melodies cribbed from shows or made up on the spot. When he grew frustrated, the hum turned strident, pushed out between gritted teeth. When things were flowing, it deepened, a wavering, atonal drone that Thomas thought of as Roman's purr. Before, he would sing Britney, loudly and proudly, and there had been days Thomas could barely think for the mental refrain of Stronger cluttering his head. And Thomas might have griped and groaned, but he never minded, not really, because Roman only sang Britney when he was at his happiest. Before, a terrible word. Before the callback. Before the wedding. Before they'd broken him. Roman doesn't sing anymore. He barely speaks. He comes when Thomas summons him, but only to apologize. "I don't have anything for you today," he says time and again, and his shoulders are slumped and his eyes are red-rimmed, and this is worse than Patton's exhaustion or Logan's distrust or Virgil's fear. This is apathy, thick as quicksand, and Roman isn't even trying to pull himself free. Thomas tries spending time with him. They color together, and Roman is methodical and slow and never strays outside the lines. They write a story line by line, and though Thomas tries to sway the plot, by the end there's no patchwork monsters, no sword-wielding knights, just dull characters doing dull things in a dull, everyday world. "I'm sorry," Roman whispers, and Thomas doesn't know how to fix this. Thomas sings, all day, every day, whether Roman is there or not. He sings Drift Away and Go the Distance and Baby One More Time. He makes up his own songs, raps about washing dishes, and croons ballads about the awesomeness of Leslie Knope. He sings the songs that Roman can't, and prays to one day hear them echoed. There's only ever silence. One day Roman comes to him. "I apologize to deceit," he mumbles, apropos of nothing. He's staring down, toeing at the carpet like a schoolboy called before the principal, and oof. If Thomas can tell Roman hadn't meant a word, yeah, there was no way on this green earth that Janice had bought it. And maybe Thomas should have chided him, should have pointed out that even now Roman could not bring himself to call the other side by name. "Thank you," he says instead, and it hurts the way relief breaks over Roman. He just wants to be good for Thomas, just wants to get it right, and they're the ones who keep changing what that means. "Did he apologize to you?" he asks, and he only means to show that he cares as much about Roman's hurts as Janice's. He regrets it instantly when Roman crumbles, folding in on himself like he's been gunshot. "He did it first," he says, and sinks out. The next time Thomas summons Roman, it's not to the living room, but straight to the stage. It's all a little hazy, the curtain more gray than red, and the seats in the audience obscured by a fog that drifts and eddies. Thomas's daydream, not Roman's. Close enough. "I want to try some improv." He's quick to hold up a hand when Roman balks. "Please, Joan wants to test a new series." That's all it takes. "Please," and Roman bows his head. "Please," and Roman tries for Thomas. Beaten down, brought low, and still he tries. Thomas doesn't know how to fix this. Doesn't know if it can be fixed. "Could you?" he asks, and gestures to the stage. A click and the world resolves around them. It's just like Thomas remembers. The warped floorboards, the rickety bucket seats, the smell that he could never quite place. And he thinks he understands. There's an intimacy and a comfort here, a nostalgia turned not sepia but golden. He thinks of his very first play, the curtain's slow rise, the way the dust had puffed out to hang glittering in the light, his absolute dread, his certainty that he was going to forget his lines, or cry or piss himself, maybe all three. Remember the Jungle Book? Thomas had been a wolf. Not Mowgli or Bagheera or Baloo, just a general background wolf, and his only lines had been brother and a howl. Roman says nothing, and the silence is hollow and rings like a bell. I wanted to run right off the stage, Thomas says. The only reason I didn't was because I was so afraid of disappointing you. Roman startles. Disappointing me? He says, and his voice is very small. Sure, you were so proud when we got the part. You worked so hard to help me make the costume and get my growl just right. And when we took our bow, a standing ovation. Because they were kids and their parents were obligated to make a fuss, but Thomas had spent his life chasing that high. And always Roman, there at his back, there to tell him that he could, there to tell him he was good enough, that they were good enough together, and so few people were lucky enough to have someone who believed in them so utterly. I never wanted to disappoint you. The world was wavering again, distorted through the gathering tears. Princey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know we screwed this up. We kept changing the rules, and that wasn't fair. Thomas? Something in the way Roman says his name makes Thomas snap his mouth shut with force enough to catch his tongue. He blinks until he can see clearly again, but Roman won't meet his eyes. He's staring out across the empty chairs. One arm is wrapped around himself, fingers digging in above the elbow deep enough to bruise. Yeah, buddy? And now, finally, Roman looks at him, and there's nothing. Just nothing there. Anything would have been better. Thomas would have taken hatred over this desert desolation that lives in Roman's eyes. I don't want to be here, Roman says. Here? On the stage? Thomas asks cautiously. It's scarcely a relief when Roman nods. I want to go back to my room, he says. Can I leave? Thomas lets him go. What else can he do? Roman doesn't want to hear it, his useless rambling apology. He watches Roman sink out, watches the auditorium fade to fog and lacework memory around him. Thomas stands alone in the silence. No one is singing. The next time Thomas summons Roman, Roman doesn't come. But someone does. Thank you all so much for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you like what you hear and you want to read more, you can find the link to the fic in the description. If you want to check out other podfics I've done, you can click on the playlist of my videos linked on the screen. See you next time!